Okay, well, welcome out tonight. We're going to talk a lot about, you're a new consultant now, what? That's always the biggest question for new consultants. They get called into the profession, if you want to call it that, and the first thing they want to know is, what do I do? And so we're going to try to help you with that tonight. So it'll take a few minutes, and we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to try to help you understand what your calling is, how you fit into the ward family history program, and then learn about your duties as a consultant. And so the three topics are going to be the ward structure, your duties, and then how to find support, how to get help, and where you can turn for help, the places that have information for you that'll help you to be a better consultant. So, Ward, Temple, and Family History Consultants serve under the direction of their Ward, Temple, and Family History leader. If your ward doesn't have a functioning leader, then you serve under the direction of a member of the Elders Quorum Presidency or the president himself. And basically, consultants help individuals or families discover ancestors, gather names for the temple, help members prepare to attend the temple, in that you can help them with getting names ready to take and just prepare them, especially when you have a chance to work with new members or newly reactivated members or people that are investigating the church that are serious about being baptized and want to get a jump start on family history. You're really helping prepare them to get to the temple. You should, if your ward has them, attend temple and family history coordination meetings so that the work can be organized in the ward. Now, a lot of the things I've mentioned tonight may not be functioning in your unit, but you need to know they should, and then you can start dropping hints that, you know, our ward really needs to do this, or we need to do that.
My screen went totally black. I wonder if you're talking to anybody.
I think I'm talking to everybody.
Why don't you ask?
Okay, but this is being recorded, so yeah, okay. Can somebody come off mute and let me know that you're hearing me?
We can hear you.
You're coming
Okay,
over the
yeah,
front.
hear you.
It's fine. Okay, and then you're going to help provide family history experiences of all kinds for new and returning members, children and youth preparing to go to the temple with limited use recommends, those learning about the gospel, in addition to the active members of the church that come to you and say they want help. So you really have a job that flows over a lot of boundaries. We're part of the missionary program. We're part of the, just trying to help grow the church and reactivate people and get our youth involved. And some of you even get a chance to serve in the Family History Center, if that's an assignment that's given to you, but that's not everybody. Okay, how does it work in the ward? Well, the ward council is supposed to develop a family history plan that the ward uses to organize its efforts in family history. I fear that a lot of wards don't do this. And so this, if you're in a ward that doesn't have this, this is one thing that you ought to talk up with the leaders of your ward. The Relief Society presidency, the Elders Quorum presidency, the Ward Temple Family History leader, if you have one, and try to get the ward thinking in that way. So the bishop's the person that holds the keys to family history in the ward. Everything flows from the bishop. Obviously, he can't do it all, so he delegates this primary priesthood responsibility to the elders quorum president, who can then assign it to one of his counselors, or he can just do it himself if that's his choice. If the ward has a ward, temple, and family history leader, that priesthood holder is under the direction of the elders quorum. And he will then be the person who actually puts things into action. He doesn't just control, say, the consultants, but he also is over the temple prep class and temple trips and anything to do with family history and temple work within the ward. But the real key player is where the rubber meets the road is the ward, temple, and family history consultant, you and I. As if without the consultants, this really does not work well. And so we really want to stress the importance of the temple and family history consultants being active in the ward, because that's how wards will be successful. Okay, your job with the patrons is to help them discover who their family is. I'm a firm believer that most of the people who don't have an interest in family history don't have a love for their ancestors. There's a disconnect between the living and the dead. They live in the world of the living and they've never considered much about the dead. And once you help them to discover who these people are, and they start to realize that they were real living live people who did things for them way back when, then things start moving and they start getting more interested in their family history. Your job also is to help gather both the living and the dead through temple ordinances and activities that bring living people together to get a better understanding of their ancestors and to connect people, the living and the dead, in ways that there'll be bonds between the generations of the family, and everybody starts to feel the spirit of Elijah. Okay, so what makes a good consultant? We've analyzed this over years, Fresno North Stake. And one of them, obviously, I think, is that you need to want to magnify your calling. You're not just, if you just go into the calling and say, okay, I've got this calling, and you just sit back, you're never going to be a good consultant because you're not really doing anything. If you wait for the world to come to you, I guarantee you, you'll be just like the missionaries. It'll be once in a blue moon that somebody will actually come up to you and say, hey, can you help me? You have to put your foot forward and extend yourself. You have to magnify your calling. And that also includes magnifying your skills and the way you understand your calling so that you can be a fully functioning consultant. The second is you've got to commit to teaching one-on-one, because really this is the way the Lord wants this done. It's more effective. The brethren have shown this through studies they've made that when they turn to one-on-one teaching, that the whole dynamic of family history changed in the church, and especially the submitting of names. And so this is a system that works. You need to be committed to that. It doesn't seem like you're making much progress when you're working with just one, but the retention of what you teach is much, much higher than teaching in a big group. And then you need to be willing to learn new skills. Some of us are longtime genealogists, but that doesn't mean we've learned all the skills that are needed to be a consultant. And so everybody has skills that they can learn. And you'd be surprised how many things I've learned over the years in doing this. Okay, support from your state consultants. Now, this is geared towards the model of Fresno North Stake. I can't guarantee you that this functions like this in every stake, but at least in North Stake, what I'm going to show you is what we're able to do. We've been given permission from our stake leaders to conduct training for all the consultants in all the various wards in our stake. And so we provide help in these ways. We have this monthly lesson that we call the first Wednesday lesson, which is for all consultants. And it's a class that provides detailed training, we usually go into things deeper than we do on these third Wednesday meetings. Then we also have the third Wednesday one, which is more geared to the beginning consultant or somebody who doesn't know their calling very well yet and needs some more help. And so these are usually, I wouldn't say watered down, but they are geared down more to the beginner level of consultants. And then in addition, the stake consultants in our stake are more than happy. If you give us a call, we'll be more than happy to help you on a one-on-one basis. But this is the way our stake is organized. It would be nice in my mind if every stake could have a setup like this. It really would be advantageous to helping the consultants in your stake all become people that are on the same page. What's so hard is that we end up with everybody on a different page if we don't have some kind of coordination. And this kind of helps that provide a backbone for the understanding of the people in the stake. Okay, I want to bust a couple of myths. The first one is that you do not need to be a genealogy expert to be a consultant. If anybody tells you you have to be, you don't. I've known some outstanding people who have been consultants who knew absolutely nothing about genealogy when they started. In fact, I remember working for a family history center director who was called many years ago to be a family history center director who didn't know anything about family history. And by the time they released her, she was one of the most knowledgeable people in the stake. So you really don't need to be an expert to do this. There's nothing here that you need to know that would require you to be an expert. There's ways to be able to find what you need that anybody who has some seeking skills can do. And I always say also, you are the expert if you know one more thing than the other guy. So in many respects, you are an expert. You just don't realize it. A lot of people say, well, this isn't a spiritual calling. I disagree with that. This is probably one of the most spiritual callings because you're working right on the edge of the veil. You are dealing with those on the other side. They want their names known. They are willing to reach over the veil and guide us and direct us and prompt us and lead us to where we need to be. And so this is a most spiritual calling. And people say, well, it's too difficult. Well, it's not really. You need to learn some skills. It is a little bit of a challenge at times, but really, if you just organize yourself and study and pray and put some effort out, you'll be surprised that you can really handle it. There isn't anybody that can't be a good consultant if they'll just put some effort out. And they'll find it's not really as difficult as they think it is. Now, some advice to help you overcome your problems. The first one, seek the Spirit. You can't have enough. Pray for guidance. Pray to be led to the things that you need to know. Pray when you're working for a person to know where to go to find the names that they need if that's what they're after. Or pray to know to be able to discern what it is they really need. And really, this is so vital. Participate personally in your own family history work. If you'll do your own on a regular basis, you'll get familiar with the system. You'll encounter the types of issues that your patrons are going to have, and you're going to be able to say, oh yeah, I did that for my family. I hear here, this is what we need to do for yours. If you really get in there, you should be less fearful of looking at your own tree than looking at a stranger's tree. And so as you spend time in your own tree, you'll get those skills. You'll start developing those skills that need repetition to learn. And over a period of time, you'll become much advanced over where you are at the beginning. And then participate in trainings. Some people get this attitude that, well, I know it all. I try to promise you that no matter how much you know, there should be something in every lesson that you can learn. And so this is part of that learning attitude that you should have. So you need to participate in trainings if you can find them or they're offered to you. And then set a goal to work with people. A lot of times in wards, there's nothing going on, and you just kind of have to be self-motivated. Because if you're not self-motivated, you're just going to sit there and vegetate, and nothing's going to happen. So if the ward's not coming to you and say, here, we need you to work with this person and that person, develop your own group of people to work with. And you'll be surprised over a period of a year. If you did 2 people a month, that'd be 24 people in a year. Over the course of 4 years, you could practically work with the entire active leadership of the ward, covering all the different, positions in the ward that are leadership positions, all by yourself. Okay, online training. There's no manual. I don't have a manual for you either, sorry. So where can we go to get the outline of ideas of what it is we're supposed to do? Well, first thing would be to seek guidance, like I've said, through prayer, scripture study, fasting, if possible, temple attendance, praying for your calling and asking the Lord, what is it I need to know and do? Then there is a section of the Handbook of Instructions for us. It's chapter 25, Temple and Family History's Work in the Ward and Stake. That chapter you need to read because it covers everything about temple and family history work for a ward and stake. And I'll show you where you can find the link for that. You can just Google it. If you just Google Church General Handbook, LDS, it'll come up. And then remember, you need to find chapter 25 in it. Also, if you review chapters 1 through 4, which are a summary of the gospel foundations of the church, and this will give you some more guidance. So it's nice that the brethren have made this now available to us. Okay, and another one is to watch or read the transcript of the 2020 Temple and Family History Leadership Instruction broadcast, which is still online at churchofjesuschrist.org. And a little later, I'll show you where you can see the hot link for that. Okay, helper resources. Those are designed for us. They used to be called consultant resources, but then they felt like, well, there's things there that everybody can benefit from, so we'll just call them helper resources. And that way they get around like the non-members knowing what's all this about. And so to get to helper resources, all you have to do is go where the little question mark is, and at the bottom of the drop down, click on helper resources. And this will take you over to a page. I can't show the whole page at one time. So we'll just start with the top part of the page, which has these pictures and some hot links. Remember, anything in blue is always a hot link on a page. So recent articles, the top part there, is really to direct you to the FamilySearch blog. This is a church blog just for FamilySearch. And the last time I looked, there were over 1,200 articles in there, 1,200 different blogs, and they're blogging new things every day. And so there's things there that will help you. There are really all kinds of interesting new information and direction for how to do things, introducing new stuff on FamilySearch and all kinds of stuff. What's new specifically tells you about what's new, what's happening over at FamilySearch. The FamilySearch community is another source you can go to. In FamilySearch, they have a social media platform, kind of Facebook-like, called the community. And you can go over there. They even have a group for consultants where you can join the consultant group and ask questions. They have groups there for locations in the world, like Germany or South America. And you can join those groups and ask research questions. And then they also have the self-help type ones, like questions about how to use tree or memories or temple questions, where you can go and ask questions on those areas too. So the community is there for you to use. It's a fairly new concept. It's been out for about a year now. And then easy invitations, the last time I looked, it's still not functioning perfectly. What it's supposed to be set up for is it'll give you a list of all the members in your ward supposedly who have hints or temple opportunities or people in their tree that could use some work on them, editing type things. And so this hasn't really been functioning well lately, but eventually hopefully they'll get it going to where you could then click on a person's name and send them a link, and it says, here are some things you can do in FamilySearch. And you'll know that they have some things because it'll show you that they do. But for right now, I would probably ignore that. Okay, at the bottom of the page is a real great collection of links. They have a section for calling information. We'll come back to that in a couple of minutes. In the center, training, where you can learn more about using FamilySearch or indexing or basics of family history or church policies regarding family history. And then there's a section of quick links where you can get to gospel media, the family history activities, guided research, search genealogies, the Family History Center Operations Guide for those of you that are Family History Center leaders. And you can also find family history centers from that link. So what I thought we'd do is just look at one of these, and we'll look at the family history basics. And so this is family history basics. There's an introduction at the top, and it says, you want to do family history? You really do, but perhaps you're not sure how to do it. And so we're going to provide you with some activities to help you. And there's a 6-link program that you can go through. One of them tells you about how to start your tree and the things you need to do. Then there's a section once you have a tree going where you can explore your heritage. And they'll show you some fun discovery things that go with the tree. Then they'll talk about the apps that FamilySearch has, the tree app, the memories app. And then they'll talk about hints and how putting hints on families, adding hints to families will help you to add people to the tree. And of course, those will be people that can be done in the temple. And then how to add photos or audio stories, and also how to find names for the temple. So this is a great place that you can use if you're brand new to family history yourself to learn more. It's also a place you can keep in the back of your mind to take your patrons to if this is the level they're at. And you can help them through some of these things, whatever happens to be what it is that their need is. Okay, back on that other page, under the callings, if you go to the Temple and Family History Callings link, you'll get two links, one for leaders. And so this is the place where a leader can go to get all the links for their calling that'll help train them, that'll help give them the background, the knowledge and information that they need to function properly. And then for the rest of us as consultants, this is where we can go to learn about being a consultant. So if we click on consultant, it takes us to a page that's my calling as a Temple and Family History Consultant with 4 main links. Getting started, what should I focus on, who do I work with, and resources. So we'll just go where you start, getting started, since we're just starting as family history consultants and we don't know what to do. So this would be the place to start. You're going to see a lot of repeat from something I had earlier. I like how they put this together. Before you're sustained, counsel with the Melchizedek priesthood leader who called you about where to begin. You know, think about that. I think a lot of times what happens, they call us in and they say, you're going to be a family history consultant. And you go, oh, and that's the end of the conversation. That's a good time to say, okay, what do you expect from me? So you can start there. Then they suggest that you seek guidance from the Spirit. Read chapter 25, and this is a hot link. So if you go to getting started under your calling, you can get to that link, and it's a hot link. You can click on it, and it'll take you right to chapter 25. You know, I've thought about this a lot. Why isn't there a manual? I think the reason is if there's 10 of us called to be family history consultants, we'll all be at 10 different places on the spectrum. And it's really hard to write a manual for that sort of a situation. And so I think this is why it's kind of a self-help situation here. So there's a hot link for chapter 25 and chapters 1 through 4 in the General Handbook. And there's the link for the 2020 Temple and Family History Leadership Instruction, which you can supplement and improve on by attending next month on the 3rd, the new Temple and Family History Leadership broadcast, where they do talk about in detail what the brethren want from family history. Those are really excellent broadcasts. Get 2 members of the 12 there, Elder Gong and Elder Bednar, along with the leadership of the Relief Society. Okay, after you're sustained, remember your family comes first. I think that needs to be on any calling in the church. Just remember your family comes first and everything else will work out. Counsel with the priesthood leader assigned to oversee temple and family history work in the ward. Now, who is that? It's either the ward temple and family history leader or a counselor in the elders quorum presidency. And don't be afraid, it says here, give him your best counsel on temple and family history matters and support the decisions he makes. Because you're out there with the members, you may have understanding of things far better than the leader has. So don't be afraid to counsel with him. Counsel goes both ways. He gives you counsel, you give him counsel. Okay, the rest of this talks about praying for guidance. Under the direction of your priesthood leader, participate in training. Participate in ward, temple, and family history coordination meetings, and help individuals and families discover their ancestors. And help them to prepare to attend the temple, and provide them with those experiences that'll make them excited about family history. and if you are assigned to serve in the Family History Center. Notice this last one, because this really is important in the church now. To ensure the safety of children and youth, you need to complete the following course. Every one of us should participate in this Protecting Children's program training course that the church puts out. You have to do it once every 3 years. And why do I say you need to do it? Because every one of us will be working with the youth at one time or another. And therefore, we should complete this. I doubt there's a person in the ward other than the consultants that realize we really need to take this class. So it's there in the handbook. So do it. And that link there will get you to it. It's not a hard class, doesn't take very long, and it gives you some real good advice. And it helps you maybe to understand now why they organize like primary the way it's organized, and young men and young women the way it's organized. Okay, other places you can go. If you haven't learned about the Help Center, this needs to become your new best friend, because the Help Center is there to do exactly what it says, to provide you with help. When you have questions about FamilySearch, anything to do with it, the tree or memories or indexing or the temple or anything about FamilySearch, the Help Center's there to help you. You get there with the question mark again, and then click on Help Center. And up comes a page like this. And the Help Center has over 5,000 articles. And they're imperfectly indexed so that you can get to them. It sometimes takes a little bit of digging, but most articles have links to other articles at the bottom. And anytime you go to a Help Center type page, you'll often see, like at the top, you'll see some questions that are common questions that might be the question you're looking for without having to ask. That when you do come to the Help Center, there's two ways to approach getting your help. One of them is to go to the question box and ask a question. That's a very tempting way to do it because it means no extra clicking. There is a catch to it. You need to understand. When you ask a question up there, it takes you to all 5,000 articles. And you're probably going to get back a good group of articles that have nothing to do with your topic, really. You might be looking for something about temple work and end up finding out about indexing because it's going to be pulling from all the categories. So really, the smarter way to do it is they've set up topics. That's what these little bubbles are. And they will allow you to filter down the articles to a certain kind of articles. So let's say we want to ask a temple question, like, can I do the work for my uncle who was born 90 years ago? And I would therefore want to look in temple only. So I can click on temple and then do my search. We're not going to take time tonight to walk you through those steps, but this is the place you go when you have questions. You can find answers to virtually anything. If you need to know how to merge or how to do a hint, how to make a hint into a source, or how to upload a audio file, or how to tag somebody in a memory, or where to find an indexing batch, or anything like that, how to find ancestry so you can sign up for it. It's all right here. You click on the area that you wanted to search in and ask the questions, and the articles will start coming up. Okay, another place that I strongly recommend for you is called the Family History Guide. This is a, quote, third-party product. It's been approved by the church as the best learning environment for family history outside of FamilySearch itself. The people in this program, in this guide, are members of the church, and they have built it. If you look at their mission statement, our mission is to greatly increase the number of people actively involved in family history worldwide and to make everyone's family history journey easier, more efficient, and enjoyable. Okay, so the key place on their website is that area that I've highlighted in the red box. These are the links to the different things that they do. Now they can actually track you. You can go in and sign up to have them track you, and they'll keep track of every activity that you do. But this is a place to go to learn. They will help you with the 4 main websites that we use: FamilySearch, Ancestry, MyHeritage, and Find My Past. They'll also, under where you see countries here, they will provide you with links to various countries and states, like states in the US, where they will show you how you can get started in researching there, doing things their way. And they have a lot of other things also. Under LDS, they have the family history guide, not family history guide, Come Follow Me Companion, that gives you family history activities to go with every lesson in Come Follow Me. Excellent resource. Okay, so let's look just at the FamilySearch portion of this to give you a feel for what's going on, because this is really a full-bodied learning program. They have what they call projects. I would call these lesson topics. Under FamilySearch, they have a whole section, a whole component on the tree itself, on memories, on descendancy, on discovery activities, indexing, help, technology, and DNA. So what they do, what this means is that under Family Tree, there's going to be a whole lesson plan that has all kinds of things to read, things to watch, and activities to do to teach you how to use the tree. Then when you go to memories, there'll be things to read, things to watch, things to do to teach you how to do memories, and so on. And so these projects will have many phases to them. So I took just the family tree one, and I pulled it up so I could just get the headings across the top. These are the beginnings of lessons that are intense lessons that go for quite a ways with several activities. They have one on navigating in the tree, what you do when you view the details, children and spouses, how you work with them in tree, the find feature in recents, alternative views. So like in the pedigree chart, the different kinds of pedigree views, how to change information, how to add ancestors, how to add sources, record hints, attaching sources, notes, merging, charts and forms, your account in FamilySearch, and the solutions gallery. And every one of those is not just one thing. It'll be a whole series of lessons to help you. So you can find, I guarantee you in this guide, you can probably find some help on anything. You'll have to dig around a little bit. You'll have to click down through this to find the specific thing you want, but it'll be there. And they've done a phenomenal job. Not for everybody, but for some people, this is a blessing of the biggest degree. Okay, so what's your challenge? Before you even begin helping patrons, you need to try to be as proficient as you can in FamilySearch. And so we recommend Spend all the time you can with your own family tree. Practice, add people, merge records, break relationships, merge them together again, add sources, do all those skills you need as a consultant. When you're confused, try going to the help center and see if you can learn how to answer your questions that way. You should have a mentor. This is one of the weak links in family history in the consultant program. If somebody hasn't offered to mentor you, go around and find somebody that will. Ask, because there's nothing better than to have somebody you can turn to. If you need to, you can actually watch them in action, or you can have them give you a lesson so you can experience a lesson that they give. Things like that so that you get a better feeling for what it is you need to do. And then dedicate a little time each day. Don't have to spend all day, but spend a little time as often as you can learning these sites. And take advantage of any trainings that are offered by your stake or anything that you can find out there. So a final thought. We really hope that these lessons help you, especially if you're a new consultant, because we have two goals. One of them is to inform you so that you have the information you need. And secondly, to help you to be able to actually assist the patrons. And so starting with the next lesson, we'll start talking about working with the patron and actually helping them. This is kind of a self-help lesson. From here on out, we'll start doing more towards this is what you need to do as a consultant working with people. So, questions? You can come off mute.
I don't have a